Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us tonight at this community meeting to talk about the Autumn Lane fire. My name is Jessica Walston, and I am a Public Information Officer trainee with the California Team 7. I'm excited to be here with you guys as we talk about or have a ton of subject matter experts in the room with us. And we really appreciate you all taking the time to come here and the school for providing this wonderful space for us. We have also want to show our gratitude for the outpouring of support this community has shown. It's been impressive every step of the way, from the donations to the thank yous to the gratitude that we've seen across all parts of this community. We have a really good lineup for you guys today of some really talented speakers with tons of knowledge. And the way that we want to run this meeting is we'll let those folks come up, speak to you guys, and then we will open it up for a short Q&A afterwards. Before we get started, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. There are restrooms to my right for women's and to my left for men's. And if those don't work, there are restrooms down either sides of the halls as well. For folks online, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and we will make sure that we have staff on hand to answer those for you. After we are done through the speakers, I will open up the floor for you folks in the room to also ask questions. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I will introduce Chief Mike Busey with Stevens County Fire District 1.
Not that I always need a microphone, but how's everybody doing? Making it? No? Little sigh of relief, a little bit better? Good, good. Hopefully we've communicated everything that's been going on for you, and that's helped you get through this tough 2 weeks. It's been tough on everybody. I mentioned Sunday at the press conference down at the ICP that whether you were directly affected by this fire or not, we've all been affected in some way or another, and we all have to remember that moving forward. This isn't a 2-week event, a 1-month event, or even a 1-year event. This is a multi-year event that we're all going to have to deal with moving forward. The first couple things I want are to get some thank yous out there. First off, Team 7. They're running around in these black shirts. They've been phenomenal. They came in, they got up to speed on Saturday afternoon, even before our fire started, when the old trail started and the Fairview fire started. They got up to speed fast. We were in front of them Sunday morning, listening to them. They were listening to us, gathering a plan together on how to combat this. And I honestly thought this was going to be a multi-week event. And as you can tell, things are winding down pretty well and pretty cleanly at this particular point. And it's attributable to their expertise, their cooperation with all the fire districts and municipalities involved, that we are at this point where we are today, where we can sit here and talk about this without being concerned what's going on in those footprints, right? So they deserve a big round of applause. In that room Sunday morning were 4 other gentlemen with me. Fire Chief Don Malone from Spokane Fire District 10, where the old Trails fire started. Spokane City Fire Chief Tom Williams, where the fire ended up and taking out most of the structures that were involved in this complex. Fire Chief Mike Noakes from Spokane Fire District 4. When it jumped 291, I called him and said, "Tag, you're it. It's coming your way." And our partners across the river and down 291, Spokane Fire District 9, Chief Matt Vincey, oh, he's back there along the wall. And his crew is here as well. Despite our diverse jurisdictions spanning 2 different counties, the 5 of us were one in speaking with this team, getting information, and doing what was right on behalf of public safety and firefighter safety. Those were the 2 things that we always talked about the entire time, and we met this morning. We'll meet tomorrow morning, and I think we go until Saturday morning when these guys depart. So it was a great group, concerted effort. Spokane Fire District 9 Engine 93 crews back there as well. They're our partners on a daily basis. They're the ones that also had to attack the Autumn Lane fire as it grew out of control. So I'd like to welcome them here as well. They deserve a huge hand. For those that didn't follow closely, Spokane 9 had the old trail fire kind of edge through. They had the Autumn Lane fire, and they had the Fairview fire. And they're part of our 9 mile larger family. It's just not Suncrest, right? So that's you know, they're here. They can answer questions for you as well if you're from that side of the lake or even this side of the lake. Our fire crews. And I'll touch on this in a minute, but we've got some of the fire crews back here that were on the scene of that first fire call on Meadowview. And then some of them were here through the night, Saturday night, into Sunday morning, into Sunday night, and into Monday morning. So we've got our fire crews back here as well that were a part of this. Also a part of that, AJ, raise your hand. AJ's the one you've probably seen on the news. When I talked to her Saturday, I was told that she thinks she lost her house in the Indian Trail fire. We got it confirmed late Saturday night. I had to break the news to her to confirm it, and even though she thought it, when it gets confirmed, it still plays a little different. Sunday, I'm out on Swenson Road watching operations, helping control operations out there. Here comes AJ driving through. So what are you doing here? She goes, I got no other place to be, so I'm going to come to work. That's the kind of spirit, not only that she invokes, but our entire staff invokes. And I have to say thank you to our staff as well, the behind-the-scenes folks. Deandra Schmidt up in the office, my administrative assistant. She's been working her butt off behind the scenes. She made sure the firefighters were fed for multiple days. She's dealing with all the paperwork that's coming in that has to be done, keeping on my butt now to get reports done for insurance companies. It's important. Two other people that are in the room that I definitely need to thank tonight. Commissioner Skip Wells, he's one of the fire commissioners, Skip. And Georgia Davenport over there. They're great at keeping financial control in the business end of the fire district moving so that we have the tools to do what we do for the communities and the people that we serve. The relationship I have with those two, and then Mark Whitaker, who's up in Loon Lake, is just phenomenal. And they kind of stay out of the way when stuff like this happens and say, if you need us, you know where to get a hold of us. We keep them up to date, and they keep asking if we need anything. So I want to thank them as well. All the visiting fire crews. I don't think we have any in the room tonight, but I think you saw a lot of them over the past week and a half coming through our area. And these guys may have better numbers, but I believe the last I saw was 27 states, 127 jurisdictions. That's incredible. Helps that you're to the #1 fire in the country for a little while too, but it's incredible. And all those crews were working extremely hard to make sure we are where we are at today. And there's still a few of them wandering around. There's a lot that have left, but there's still some work to be done out there, and they'll be done by the time this gets turned over to DNR. Emergency management, Adina, where are you at? Oh, she's back here. She hides, but she'll be back up. Adina is a one-person shop as a county emergency manager. She's the one responsible for helping with HyperReach, get the maps together, along with our GIS person, Haley, up there too. They were incredible at getting the right maps out off of drawn Google Maps with Mike Busey sketches on them and deciphering those sketches to get the right things out. I don't want to take up too much time. Most of you know what happened. I do want to say that we have some great information, great maps to show you. What would happen if the fire district failed at our job or we weren't here to do that job. One of the maps that is being hidden back there by the 93 crew will be up on the screen. We'll see that in just a little bit. That first day when the old trails fire started, we were all a little bit nervous, right, up here. We had 22 of our firefighters on duty in our severity staffing. That number ballooned to 36 by the time all this was said and done those first couple days. The old trails fire broke out. The Autumn Lane fire broke out. The Autumn Lane actually seemed to be okay for a little bit till the winds picked up. I was sitting in my office at home. I'm on the second floor in my house. I'm seeing the old trails column, and I look over, and there's another column. I called the lieutenant on duty, Brian Hansen. I said, Brian, we got to get out and see what's going on. He went down to Suncrest Park. I went up to the Westview subdivision to look across, and I said, we got to do something. So we started sending all those great folks and plenty more that aren't here tonight out to look for embers falling. We put out a hyper reach to let everybody know that was happening. Brush 4 was no more on the road. Left turn down Suncrest. They get down towards the bottom. Suncrest Circle, they said, we have a fire start. So, okay, we can get this. 4 minutes later, we had 2 houses going. We had multiple units on scene. We had probably in our area, because of our elevation, probably 50, 60 mile an hour winds gusting through the area. Planes weren't flying that day because they could not fly in those winds. So we only had a couple rotors left, and we were sharing between us and Autumn Lane. Just as we were getting the Meadowview fires under control, and that took a lot of effort, folks, a lot of effort by these crews. We started getting reports of the fires at the end of Shore Drive and a few of those other roads on that side of the subdivision. That's about when the pilots timed out for the rotors, so we lost air support. When you look at these maps of where this fire went, that's boots on the ground. I know a lot of people out there love the airplanes and love the helicopters flying. They support us on the ground. They don't necessarily put the fires out. They keep it cool for the boots on the ground to do their jobs. Without them, it's a lot more difficult. Saturday afternoon into Saturday night and into Sunday morning, we had no aircraft. It was all the work of these fine folks over here. And to highlight that, we had no additional help. The old Trails fire, the Autumn Lane fire on this side, the Fairview on the east side of the city absorbed every single resource that Spokane County had. We did a countywide all-call and got a few additional rigs from our partners in northern Stevens County to come down and help. We got 2 DNR rigs eventually were freed up, and I greatly appreciate that. And eventually we ended up with a strike team overnight from the Colfax, Whitman County area. All the work that was done in this area is attributable to those men and women in the blue shirts back there. And they, yes. Obviously, at that particular point, it jumped 291. It actually took 2 different prongs. It kind of went left and right towards Lookout Mountain, got into Fire District 9, Spokane Fire District 4, and fortunately, within a couple days, it started to stay within its footprint. Crews did an amazing job of keeping it where it was. I know a lot of people had consternation over keeping 291 closed. Public safety, firefighter safety. I can't say it any more plainly than that, right? Nobody was penned in, nobody was held hostage. You had plenty of ways in and out of the subdivision. They were just inconvenient. We appreciate the patience of everybody in dealing with that. I drove that after Avista got all their lines cleaned up down there. I drove that on an almost daily basis to the ICP, and there was still stuff falling on the ground on a regular basis. There were still crews climbing those hills, digging for hot spots. After the flames go out, or the big flames disappear, the big smoke columns disappear, it's days and days of crews digging in, looking for those hot spots, sounding for stump holes, finding those stump holes, digging those out, following those root trails to make sure that there's no hot spots and fire in those so it can't flare back up. So if we happen to have a red flag warning during these events, the embers don't go anywhere. The crews, the aforementioned fire chiefs, the sheriff from Spokane County, John Knowles, the Spokane City Police Department, we all had some piece of interest in Highway 291. Just open the road here would have caused a ton of issues for the city of Spokane as you got down into the Indian Trails area. And if you've not been through that area yet, like I said the other day, brace yourself. It's different. It's different. With that, I've talked enough. I want to hear your questions, get to those. We got some experts to chit-chat, but I do want to introduce somebody that was on the phone with me on a regular basis, calling me every day going, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? At first, it's hard to answer that in her position, but we've talked since, and I think we've got a little bit of a long-term how she can help me. Senator Shelley Short.
Thank you so much. Everybody here did such a great job. You and your community, the people who were brought here to fight the fires. I remember talking to Chief Busey that first night when the fire came through 9 Mile, and I'm like, are you okay? Is Suncrest okay? Is 9 Mile Falls okay? And because I knew you have 2 ways in and out, and it's really scary. And he said, we'll be okay as long as it didn't jump the river. And then about an hour after that, it jumped the river, and I'm like, oh, Lord. But the kind of communication that we have, I happened to be in a meeting with the governor, and about the time that Mike said it jumped and they needed resources, those are the kind of communications that I bring as your state senator to make sure that he has what he needs, that your communities have what you need. And there are going to be many discussions going forward about how we can continue to improve the system. Because years ago, we knew that we needed to beef up that fire funding, the pre-preparedness, all of the things in preparation of what you folks went through. And those things were in place because of a lot of work, a lot of bipartisan work that was done in the legislature. I was part of that. DNR's been a part of that. Chief Busey's been a part of that. Because those are the things that give the resources when you need them. I just want to be here in support of what all of you have gone through, what some of you are going through with the loss of your homes, and just the impact to your lives. And we stand ready to help any way that I can. If you're having issues with your insurance company, I've been working with the Office of Insurance Commissioner on that, and just to really be a voice with whatever you need help. And I'm happy to stay afterward. But honestly, my heart just goes out to you. I'm so concerned, and I'm so grateful to see everybody here and safe, and amazing work by the firefighters who came in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelley. Next up, we have Monty Stobar, the Vice Chairman of Stevens County Board of Commissioners in District 1.
Thank you. Do I need a mic?
Yeah.
Okay. I see Pastor Wayne over there nodding his head. Yes, I need a mic. First, I want to give some shout outs to the fire districts, all the firefighters, Chief Busey, who I call. I try not to bug him too often, but I do call him, and he does answer my questions. Adina Sellers, our emergency management person, has just been, she's my right-hand person at the county. When it comes to things dealing with emergency management, we're always trying to think ahead and be proactive. She's the one that encouraged us and advised us to expand our emergency response and our proclamation, so we can get all the benefits possible when it, depending on where the fire goes and what it does at different levels, and different dollars are involved. So, and I want to thank my community. So if you look to the left and the right of you, to your neighbors, How many had their neighbors helping them out? Raise your hand. We live in Suncrest. We're unincorporated. And all our neighbors helped. I have neighbors. I'm going to mention some people's names, but all of us have names. But I want to mention some tonight. One is my neighbor Jeff, his wife Melissa, and their son Colton. Marie and I were in Spokane, and we came home, and they'd already put the sprinklers up on my house, and on the retired fire commissioner's Bill Madison's house, and on their house. And then they helped me back under my truck because I was being evacuated, and they were hosing down my house. And then when I came back the next day, they were ensured that my house didn't burn down because I'm not far from one of the fires. And then I was able to visit with 4 families that lost their home in the fire. And so when you think you got it bad, a lot of us have it okay. And so our houses are still standing. We had big chunks and embers in our yard that had burned out. And so it's a pretty big deal. I also want to thank Keith with the Friends of Lake Spokane Parks for taking care of his neighbors that burned out and helping out in that way. I have Yvonne sitting in the front row. She's helping out with someone that burned out, getting benefits and finding benefits for them. I just can't thank this community enough. Nick and Katie Brown, they hauled a lot of people up to their, what we call the Brown compound, and let people stay out their place off of Rail Canyon. I could go on and on, but name those people in your heart and thank them. I'm going to bring up a couple resources tonight that I want to talk about. One of them is Tri-County Health. Tomorrow I'll be driving back up to Cawville, and I'll be bringing back filters. You'll find them at the Wagon Wheel Event Center for your house. They're filters to help filter out smoke and that kind of stuff. The Tri-County Health, I talked to them today. They also have 100, they're working on getting, I hope they get them, 150 filters to filter out smoke for people that have respiratory problems. So you might want to contact Tri-County Health. Also, do we have any business owners in here tonight? Well, if you're not one and you know one, please contact Tri-County Economic Development, because they have some loans possible for people that were affected by the fire with their business. I talked to the folks that run that just the other day. So please contact them. I put one of our business owners who lost their septic business in touch with them. And we need septic services in Suncrest, for sure. And so on behalf of the entire Stevens County Board of County Commissioners and all our staff and all our employees, our hearts and our resources are with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have up joining us virtually is Representative Hunter Abel with Washington State Legislature, 7th Legislative District.
Get out of the way and let the firefighters fight the fire. And so that's critically important for me. And again, I want to acknowledge the hard work that has gone in so far in fighting this fire, and just conclude by saying that me and my office are a resource to you. If there's anything we can do to assist, if you need assistance with the state in any way, please don't hesitate to contact me, reach out, and let me know how I can help. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you. And thank you again very much for letting me speak here tonight.
Next, I'd like to call up Adina Sailors, the Director of Stevens County Emergency Management.
Well, we really got to stop beating like this, guys. Can you believe it has been 2 weeks and 3 days since we did our first big fire? The Burdine fire dropped July 25th. It hit quickly. Within about 2.5 hours, we'd hit a state mob, and officially our fire season has started. I hate to tell you, but it's probably not going to end till October. So we're hoping for some early snowfall. My job here is to kind of explain to you what emergency management does in situations like this. Thank you, Chief Busey, for explaining some of it. Emergency management isn't out there holding the hose. We are managing the chaos. Our job is to coordinate and get everybody talking and everybody on the same page. So a lot of ours is resource management. It's getting people to communicate, and first and foremost, it's life and safety. So I work hand in hand with the Sheriff's Department and dispatch. As soon as Chief Busey lets us know something's going on, we start issuing out hyper-reaches. If I just said the word hyper-reach and you don't know what that word means, you need to go to the Stevens County website, go to emergency management, scroll to the bottom, and sign up for emergency alerts. Because that's how we tell you when you need to evacuate your home, and that's what you need to rely on. It may not be the perfect platform, but it's all we've got. So we need you guys to sign up. Hyper Reach for Stevens County. It's like a reverse 911. The next thing that we start to do is we start to mobilize our resources. So thanks to intel from Chief Busey, my contacts with Washington EMD, before it was midnight, we had an FMAG declared on this fire, which is federal funding for a fire, which is essential when we want to have a community recover. The next most important thing is our county had to declare an emergency for this. So you have 2 county commissioners who drove down here. You have Monty Stobart, who you've already heard from, and in the back, see if you recognize, we have Mark, our other commissioner, Mark Burrows. They rallied together, they formed an emergency meeting. We got an emergency declaration declared. That opens up funding for you. It also makes it possible where if you've lost your home, we have an application. You can apply for emergency funding, and the county will assist you while you are trying to find funds, and you are working with Red Cross to help find housing. The next thing that we do is sheltering. All of this is happening almost the same time. As soon as Busey tells me that we've got to evacuate you, I have to find a shelter. Our search and rescue team is actually cross-trained with Red Cross because Red Cross is strapped for volunteers. They don't have enough. Right now, you're going to see tons of Red Cross. When we have a national disaster, we get all the people. You get people from California, Louisiana, New York. Everybody flies in and helps. When it's just a normal, we got a 5,000-acre wildfire that's burned 8 homes, we have our 3 Red Cross volunteers for Stevens County. So we did and trained our search and rescue team, so now they actually help run our shelters. So if you've ever been interested in stepping up, volunteer with the Red Cross, volunteer for the county. That's one of the best ways that we can get you helping people the fastest because you're already vetted, you're already trained, and you can help us respond. The next thing that my department is in charge of is information. Whether you think I'm good at it or you think I'm bad at it, I'm the best you got, and I'm one person. I try to manage Facebook as much as any of us can manage Facebook. But we have Facebook, we have the webpage, we put out to our once-a-week newspaper. So also, if you're relying on that for your evacuations, you're gonna be a little bit behind. We try to talk to the radio stations. I begged KHQ to please put our evacuations on their news site. I loved how like the first 24 to 48 hours of the fire, we didn't actually have evacuation zones. That was delightful, calling CRIM and KHQ and being like, can you please tell our people where the evacuation zones are? So we have our websites. We also have a Stevens County Connect app. It's like any mobile app, just like Watch Duty. You can download it, put it on your phone. We don't send out all alerts all the time through it, but it's where we send our press releases, and it's also where we do send out our hyperreach alerts, where if you're not in the area and you didn't get an alert, but you want to know where it was, you'll see the notice and you'll be able to read what the alert was, and then that will take you to our public information map. And that public information map you probably have seen more than you ever want to see of, but that is where all of our evacuations are. There's air quality on it, road closures on it, and it's just a interactive map you can type your address into. It's not always perfect. I'm not a GIS expert. Our GIS expert works 8 to 4:30. I've tried to ask Mike to keep his fires 8 to 4:30. It's not working very much. So occasionally you get me on the map, which means the map looks a little wonky. Have patience. Usually I fix it eventually. There's a redo, undo button. And then the last thing that our department's in charge of is recovery. And that is the longest road, but we are here to help you navigate through it. What I cannot encourage you guys enough is please take advantage of the resources that you're going to see and you hear about tonight. I don't care how many times they're called the Spokane Complex Fire, they include you. Please go to Spokane, please utilize those resources, because I will caution you, you are going to see a lot of resources and then they are going to leave and it is going to be gone, and we are not going to be able to recreate these resources for you. It's much like trending on social media. Something's really popular, everybody's paying attention, and then in about a month, you're still gonna need help, but there's not going to be the same resources around. We are here trying to navigate with groups and trying to make sure that we are going to be able to tide you through. We work with Conservation District, DNR, WSU Extension, Tri-County Health. So we're trying to help you with your septic, your water, your tree planting, your grass seed, and all of that. We are here. We will have a recovery meeting where we have all of those players. They come and they help you. But please, I cannot encourage you guys enough. Right now, we have immense resources that normally are never directed to our county because we don't have that level of influence and we can't bring in these national organizations. They can right now, so if you see these resources, they are for you. Please take advantage of them. That's exactly why these groups are here. They want to help you, and they can help you more than I ever can. All I can is I can lead you to water. I'm encouraging all of you to drink. And with that, I've taken up enough time. I'll hand it off.
Thank you, Adina. Next, I have Jake Janasek with the American Red Cross.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? All right, Jake Janasek. I am a Red Cross coordinating officer. I live here in Spokane, Washington. I had to evacuate last Saturday night, and that was one of the most stressful things I've ever had to endure with my family. So when I saw you guys out here in the crowd that raised your hand, I empathize. I know that others in this room and likely that are watching this video lost their home. I was able to return the next day. I housed one of my friends who was in an evac zone for a week. I know many of you, based on what your county commissioner shared and some of the conversations I've had in this community, have been taken in your neighbors. I can't tell you how much that means to those folks, and I am so proud of the work that you guys are doing to come together as a community. Last Friday, I stopped by the Wagon Wheel. I think it's right next door officially. The resources that were pulled together by this community are absolutely phenomenal. The two gals I spoke with there were sharing stories of the folks that were coming in to donate and the people that needed those resources. I heard stories of folks taking stuff, loading it onto boats, and getting it across the water to other communities that needed those resources. I've also heard stories of the 9 Mile store. You guys came together as a community, and I am so absolutely proud of that work. What I'm here to talk a little bit about is some of the other resources that are available to you guys right now. If you lost your home and you have not been to the Disaster Assistance Center at Shadle, tomorrow is the last day that the DAC is open. It's open from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. The amount of resources that are available there to you are outstanding. I have never seen anything like this in such a short period of time. I highly, highly encourage you, if you are watching this, if you lost your home, if you're still in an evacuation zone, I know a lot of them got dropped today, but if you're still in an evacuation zone, if you need a safe place to go, the Red Cross has shelters open. We've got an outdoor shelter, so if you've got RVs, we've got an outdoor shelter with free hookups at the Spokane County Fairgrounds. We've got tons of resources there. We've got Chewelah at Jenkins, yeah, I'm learning all. I'm local, but I don't know all the high school names. We've got the Chewelah shelter still open, and we have the convention center in downtown Spokane. Those are great places to get connected with the Red Cross. We have started our immediate financial assistance for those that lost their homes. You do need to come register in person. We've got some flyers just outside this door that will have information on all of those locations, the dates and the times. We keep a web page that's up to date that you can scan the QR code. If you're old school like my dad and you want to call a phone number, 800 Red Cross. If you want to remember one website, redcross.org/gethelp. There are so many community resources at play here. I want to give a shout out to just a couple of them. I can't name them all because there were too many to count at the Disaster Assistance Center today. But if you lost your home, Samaritan's Purse is an organization that is here. They've got teams of volunteers that travel to disaster-impacted communities across the country that can help with sifting, finding lost items, and helping to bring some closure to folks. So I'd encourage you guys to reach out to them. 211 and Airbnb have a partnership. If you're still unable to access your home because you're in an evacuation zone, or if you lost your home, they can help with some resources there to put you up temporarily, in addition to all the other work that partners are doing. So those are just a few that I'll shout out. Again, the DAC is at Shadle in Spokane, open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Red Cross is going to stay here. We're not going anywhere. We're actually going to continue to stay at Shadle through Sunday, so we'll be there each and every day. If you lost your home and you lost your driver's license, we're working with the Department of Licensing to help get those replaced right there on the spot, so that we can get you processed and hopefully get you some financial assistance real quick. If you lost your home, a lot of times you had to leave some stuff behind. You may have lost medication, durable medical equipment. We can help fast track getting you that stuff, right? The last thing I want to say is we've got a ton of other resources available. You've probably seen some Red Cross trucks we call ERVs, emergency response vehicles. They kind of look like ambulances with a big old Red Cross on the side. Within those ERVs, we've got things like snacks and water, and for folks that are returning to their home to clean up, we've got protective equipment. I discourage folks, unless absolutely necessary, from going into the footprint of their home. But if you choose to do so, we kindly ask that you do it in a safe way, or as safe as possible. We do have pretty significant PPE available. We do have sifters available. That PPE, the protective equipment, we've got Tyvek suits, we've got booties, we've got gloves, we've got N95 masks, we've got the sifters and the shovels and the rakes. It's one and done with that stuff. So if you're in an ash pit of a home, there's real nasty chemicals right there underneath your kitchen sink, in your garage. We want people to stay as safe as possible. Heed the advice of public health officials. So if they give you a warning and say it's not safe, please heed their advice. If you have any questions for the American Red Cross, we've got a team of volunteers that are here. They're just outside that door. They've got tons of great information for you. I see a few folks I know I want to connect with, and I heard some names shouted out, some people I really want to go speak with. But yeah, come find me. And if you've had friends or families in the community, in neighboring communities that lost their homes, please make sure they're aware of the resources that are being offered at the Disaster Assistance Center and that the American Red Cross is offering. Adina did a great job, and I'm probably going to get drug away here in a minute with a pitch. If you're interested in becoming a Red Cross volunteer, thank you, Adina. We have a need, and we can get you fast-tracked right now. So you can visit redcross.org/volunteer. You can come into any of our sites and let us know, and we'll help get you fast-tracked. We'd love to have you help out with this particular disaster response, but we need you throughout the whole year. Adina and her team need support. So if you have any questions, come find me, and thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you, Jake. And so with that, we're going to transition over to hear from our Operations Section Chief with California Team 1, Steve Schultz.
Hi, good evening. My name is Steve Schultz. I'm the current branch director for the Autumn Lane Fire. Before we get started, I would like to thank this community for the outpouring of support and everything that this community has done. You guys have suffered so much loss, and it's amazing to see that you're coming out for the people on the ground. It's noticeable and it's appreciated. Thank you. So I'm going to start with a quick synopsis and then move into our current situation with the Autumn Lane fire. So the fire started approximately 1600 on August 1st. It spread quickly to the east following the Spokane River drainage. The fuels consisted of the grass understory with timber, which are critically dry, as you're well aware. Group torching was witnessed. It occurred, it threw spots. The topography of the river drainage enhanced the already strong winds during that wind event. At approximately 1900, the fire spotted across the Spokane River, and once on the northeast side of the river, the fire was in alignment with the wind and slope and ran uphill. One main drainage and two smaller ones were in almost perfect alignment with the current winds, and as the strong west winds slacked in the early morning hours of August 2nd, the fire responded to the more daily diurnal wind pattern of the area, and this caused the fire to burn downslope towards the southwest with the drainage winds. Additional growth of the fire was due to the extremely dry fuels and multiple ember production sources, and the growth consisted of slopovers due to extremely dry and receptive fuels as well as difficult topographical challenges. So currently on the Autumn Lane fire, we're sitting at 5,782 acres with 89% containment. The progression modeling of this fire, which takes into account no suppression activities, put it all the way out to 395 with Fairwood, so it would be north of Fairwood and along the Monroe Road area under the fuels and the weather conditions that were present at the start. So with that being said, that's assuming there's no suppression action taken. I'd like to thank the local IA resources and your local fire departments and your first responders. Did an amazing job and set us up as we came in. It was amazing. So I'd like to give them a round of applause. So currently, we're looking real good. We have it broken up into divisions, and each division, the black line, is containment line. The only places that are open are up here on Mike, which should be getting worked on. We're starting to black line some of that. And also over here on division Delta. Crews are still in there. They're working hard, trying to get those stump holes and make sure that no ember sources are still there. So far, the progress is going real good. The weather's cooperated, and we got the resources we need to get the job done. So everything's moving in the right direction. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to bring up John Lucas, Deputy Incident Commander for California Team 7.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I think something's been missed tonight. It's been mentioned a little bit, but your local fire districts done an amazing job. I don't know if you guys know this, but when this fire first started, they spent 36 to 40 hours out there on the line due to resource unavailability when we were waiting for resources to come in. Your local fire districts kept their guys out there for 36 and 40 hours. Amazing job, and it breaks my heart that you guys have lost structures, but you would have lost a lot more if it wasn't for those local firefighters. So if you would, please stand up and give them a hand. Okay, secondly, I've never seen it in my career. I've been doing this for 30 years. You can probably tell by my gray hair. The community outreach to our team was absolutely amazing. I think I gained like 15 pounds on this fire because all the food that you guys keep bringing us. And I just want to thank the community, want to thank you guys. You've been amazing towards us, and we really appreciate it. In times of tragedy, you guys are going through tragedy, and for the outpouring that you showed us is absolutely amazing. We really appreciate that. There's 112 of us that came in to help you guys, and everyone is blown away by how generous and how amazing your local community is. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So I'd like to open it up to questions for you as far as the fire itself. If you guys have questions, please ask. Yes, sir.
I'd like to pause real fast before we open it up to questions. I apologize. You tricked me.
I made my PIO mad, sorry.
No, we can get there. I just wanted to acknowledge and recognize that you have a ton of brilliant people in this room, including a representative from Senator Patty Murray's office, a representative from Senator Maria Cantwell's office, a representative from Michael Baumgart's office, as well as folks from the Stevens County Conservation District, Washington State Department of Natural Resources, Samaritan's Purse, Salvation Army, and Tri-County Health. So as we transition to this Q&A session, if you have any questions, these folks are around here, and if you don't feel like asking it right now, we'll have a breakout session and you can find these folks around the room. With that, we can open it up to questions, and we'll start with ones related to the fire.
So can I bring Chief, if you want to mic?
All right. Are we together now? My question is, we know how many structures were lost on the north side of the river. How many were lost on the south side of the river?
Not sure they have that number immediately available at the moment. Chief Vinci, do you have that? Come on. Don't be shy. I know he's not. You don't have a breakdown either? We're still working on the breakdown between north side, south side, Spokane 4, Spokane 9, and Stevens 1. We know Stevens 1, we lost 7 primary residences and 10 other outbuildings were destroyed. Shops, garages, shed type thing. Maybe even a she shed in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't have the breakdown.
Okay, it doesn't have the breakdown with them. We'll get that posted. Both on our Facebook page and probably the September Stevens County Times will have that information as well from the team.
Yes, sir. The last briefing, this gentleman told us there was group torching. What does that mean?
I'll let him answer that. I know what it is, but he can answer it better.
Yeah, group torching is when basically you have probably 10 to 20 trees tight together, and that's group torching. They'll torch all those trees off at a single time. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Is it true that we haven't had any loss of life in all of these complexes of fires? And has there been any significant physical injuries to either firefighters or inhabitants?
Yes, it is true. There's no loss of life. We've checked. Yeah. The Sheriff's Department has confirmed that. And as far as firefighters, we've had 4 heat-related injuries, basically dehydration. So we got those individuals into the hospital or our medical tent and pumped them full of IVs, and they're doing good. So nothing major, no. So with that, I'm going to pass it to my PIO.
Thank you.
Do we know what started the Autumn Lane fire yet?
The question was, for those who didn't hear, do we know what started the fire yet? Do we know what caused the fire?
No, we know the origin on Autumn Lane off of Charles Road, but it's still under investigation. We do not have a cause of the Autumn Lane fire. And we will, from District 9, and we have multiple investigators still working on it. We will be open about all the information we have on the investigation as it proceeds. But as of this evening, we do not have a cause. We have an origin, but we don't have a cause.
While he's working his way there, we had a couple questions online, and Chief Busey will answer those.
They're both in relation to Highway 291 and the potential for mudslides coming up. Without DOT here, I don't want to speak for them, but I know they had their engineers out the other day. They were flying a drone the other day as well to check the slopes. They do have concerns, but I've not heard anything additional from them at this particular point. I do have their phone numbers in my phone, and I will keep in touch with them to see where that's at. With that said, we are, if you haven't seen, we are under a red flag warning for tomorrow for thunderstorms, mainly because of the lightning. But we're also expected in some of those thunderstorms as they pass through, potentially get up to a 1/4 inch of rain, which could pose an additional problem. So that's something that we are looking at. I know Stevens County Emergency Management is on that. Spokane County Emergency Management's on that because it spans 2 counties. It's definitely a concern. So we will keep an eye on it.
I live at the end of Ridge Tree Court down that way. And this spring I had a fellow from DNR come out and look at my property for fire resistance. At his suggestion, I removed a bunch of evergreens from my property. And I gotta tell you folks, that is the only thing that saved my house. It burned right up to the fence line. Well, that and Chuck, he saved my house too. But that's the only thing that saved it. So please take advantage of DNR's wisdom for your property.
She brings up a good point. Defensible space, we mentioned it. We start trying to mention that in March, April, May, sometimes a late post in June. Defensible space saves a lot of homes. It saves us as fire districts a lot of time and energy because we know we can check her house, check on it, and then move to the next one and help us save the next one. There are some homes out there that probably didn't have the best defensible space, weeds coming up under their decks. That caused us a problem. And at a certain point in time, that makes a world of difference. So thank you for following their advice. Pardon? Oh, the bridle trails is always a problem. Even behind my house, it's a problem. I think that's something that we as a Suncrest community need to get together on a separate type of meeting like this and figure out a plan, figure out funding to clean up the bridle trails, whether it's through legislation, whether it's through DNR, whether it's the State Conservancy, whatever that is. I think we all need to come together because that's a problem behind my house, it's a problem behind yours, and probably everybody in here. I agree. Jeff, you want to come up? Go ahead.
Okay, this is actually just a follow-up to the last line of questioning. We're in a small community nearby and are interested in knowing what kind of help we can get in identifying which of the many, many trees that are around us should come down.
They turn these off on me. There's a reason for that. That's a DNR question. We have some DNR folks floating around. Tim Love is right behind you there. Yeah, so look for Tim. Eric, where are you at? Eric's back there too. Christina's back there. Stevens County Conservancy. Hey, Conservation District. I always say Conservancy, but.
Yeah, so my question's kind of a follow-up to that. We were actually on a wait list for over a year to try to get DNR to come out and evaluate our property, and we were told there's only one person assigned for the entire county trying to get through all of that. And so we wanted to see if there's going to be additional resources for prevention, because we were eager to work on our property, but we couldn't get any help from someone to tell us what we could do to work on our property. So we just did the best we could based on like resources available online, but it would be really nice if there was people that could come out.
Yeah, we do hear that a lot. My second hat, outside of being a public information officer for California Team 7 for this role, hopefully future ones, is I work for the Washington State Department of Natural Resources, and I came from our Service Forestry program originally. We are understaffed in that program, unfortunately, and we do have limited funds. And the person who should be coming out to that county is supporting wildfire right now. So that adds to the wait time. With that being said, we are continually trying to access more funds to make sure we get as much money and as much work done into the community for private landowners to help reduce fuels and prevent wildfire in the future.
I do want to introduce our school superintendent, Jeff Bayerwald. I've got to let you know a couple things before. He's got a quick announcement to make, but he reached out every single day saying, what can the schools do? What can the schools do? And I did let these guys know, hey, we have schools available if we want to do a forward operating base. I probably bugged them too much on it, but he's always thinking of the community. Obviously, we're in his building today, and we appreciate that, and thank you for that.
It's our building. Hey, first of all, thank you to the firefighters. Amazing work. I just want to share a message from the school district and the work we're trying to do to support our community, and invite you to be a part of this family. So in conjunction with Journey Foursquare Church, Suncrest Worship, 9 Mile Community Church, we've been able to put together a camp for our kids to help them navigate these challenges. So we have got I think we've got 200 kids signed up for a camp that starts tomorrow, all free, kids from 9 Mile Falls community, or they attend our district. So really cool. We've got a bunch of volunteers that are helping. I think we're over 50 volunteers now. Absolutely incredible. But the other thing is that Wayne Ferris, sitting back here, was able to connect with an organization called Mercy Chefs. Mercy Chefs will be serving our kids meals at that camp for free. And on top of that, they have also offered, and they will start this tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m., a drive-through meal. If you need a meal, you know somebody needs a meal, firefighters, you need a meal, they're going to be serving meals out of this parking lot right over here between 4 to 6 p.m. and down at 9 Mile Falls Elementary, 4 to 6 p.m., dinner on them to help take care of our community. So that'll be Wednesday through Monday, including the weekend. And even on the weekend, they're going to provide lunch, 11 to 1. We're going to put this information out. We're just gathering it right now. It should go out sometime tonight. And then on top of that, we're asking you to come break bread with us on Tuesday the 18th right here. They're going to serve our community. If you want to come and have a meal between 4 and 6 p.m. right here at Lakeside High School in this cafeteria, they will serve us right here out of this cafeteria. So just want to say how blessed we are to have the people coming in and looking after our community, and want to invite you in to be a part of that. So thank you.
So with that, I'd like to transition us to a breakout. Before I close, I also want to acknowledge that we do have commissioners from Spokane County Fire District 9 here. If you guys will raise your hands, please. So if you have any questions for any of the people in this room, please seek them out. In order to kind of keep that organized, we're going to have some breakouts. To my right over here, if you'd like to speak to an elected official or a representative of their office, please come over here and find those folks. If you'd like to learn more about fire operations and how the suppression worked, please go where that wonderful line of firefighters is. Hopefully they'll move out of the way so we can look at the maps. And you can talk to our ops folks over there and Chief Busey. If you would like to learn more from folks who can offer some more recovery resources for landowners, whether that be from your homes being lost or for preventing future wildfires like this, please find the folks that will be standing against that my right wall. And thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate every one of you, and I know this whole team is grateful to have been able to serve this community. Thank you guys.